Hello and welcome to another video, and you know what video this is going to be about. Manchester United's most recent result against West Ham United. 1-1 draw at home, their last home game at Old Trafford, and they drew 1-1. Manchester United with the chance to make their lead into the Champions League a lot more comfortable, and they slipped to a draw. I wouldn't say slipped to a draw, they battled to a draw because that's how poor they were. Manchester United has shown time and time again this season that when they had the chance to move up into the Champions League spots and be there comfortably, they have failed to capitalize. When there's a bit of pressure put on them to win and be successful in a game, guess what? They faltered. They become sluggish, they become sloppy, they let errors dominate the game. Let's look at examples. Southampton, if we had won that game, we would have already been qualified into the Champions League. We drew 2-2. Perfect. Earlier, before lockdown, against Everton, we had a chance to leapfrog Chelsea into the top 4. Guess what? We drew 1-1 at Goodison Park. How many times? It's happened so many times this season. It's ridiculous. It's symptomatic of the mentality held by the players, and possibly even by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You cannot deny Ole Gunnar Solskjaer deserves part of the blame for this. Because if the atmosphere, if the mentality, if the attitude around the club is as so, then how are we going to improve? How are we going to progress forward? I truly believe Manchester United had changed their mentality, had reinvigorated the whole atmosphere around the club once Ole Gunnar Solskjaer laid the marker down and reminded the players of what it's like to play for Manchester United. However, witnessing Manchester United play in the past few weeks has been pathetic. Truly, the attitude shown on the pitch when we need to win most has been non-existent. What attitude? They don't look like a team. They truly do not look like a team. They look like a bunch of individuals being put on the pitch, lost, with no idea what to do. And it's disappointing, really. Because if we had won this match, we had gone into the Leicester game with more confidence. You can say we can draw both games and still qualify for the Champions League. Simple as that. However, in my opinion, if Manchester United had won convincingly against West Ham, and go into the King Power, they would have been loads more confident. They would have had more belief in their ability to beat Leicester City and put it there and say we're going to qualify for the Champions League. However, going into this game at Old Trafford, the final game against Old Trafford, if there were fans watching this game, there'd be boos all around the crowd, all around the stadium, because they just showed a lack of passion, a lack of desire to win. Winning mentality. Simple. Manchester United, under Sir Alex Ferguson, in must-win games, they would turn up. You would see passion, you would see fire, you would see an insane amount of determination to win a game at all costs. That's what you saw under Sir Alex Ferguson. That is what this team wants to emulate. This is supposedly what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to build us up to. Treble winners, Champions League and league winners, 13 titles. That is not won through a lackadaisical behavior, through a lack of want. That team showed the most want out of any Premier League team in its era. And if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to return to those glory days, to those beautiful days at Old Trafford, title after title, then this team, this mentality held by this team, it has to change. I do not understand why this Manchester United team keeps slipping, keeps failing every time they have an opportunity to be within the Champions League comfortably. So many times in simple games against the lower half opposition. It's not like they're tough fixtures at all. This West Ham team, they're comfortable. They're not going to be relegated. You might say they're only 3 points above the drop coming into the game. If we had beaten them, then maybe they would have been relegated. Let's be real. You look at their goal difference. They had to have conceded 7 goals against Aston Villa, and 7 goals had to be scored by Watford against Arsenal for this West Ham team to win. That's ridiculous. They're clearly comfortable in the Premier League already. A team with nothing to play for. And yet, we didn't show any want. We have all to play for, and they have nothing to play for. But it looked like none of us wanted to win. Really. No player on the pitch today stood out. None of them. Let me go through the players one by one. David De Gea, he didn't have much to do aside from one save and the penalty, obviously. Fosu Mensah, he was poor in attack. He gave the ball away a couple times. Brendan Williams, he lost his man Gerard Bowen a few times, letting him slip past him. And in attack, I feel he didn't have the final ball. Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof, their job primarily was to build up. And did they build up well? I would say no. I think they mishit balls at times. They didn't really provide the cutting edge properly. Nemanja Matic, going into the final third, as you know he loves to. He likes to come onto the edge of the box and add as a passing option. Did he do it successfully this game? I'd say no. I'd say he didn't pick out the right pass. He wasn't incisive enough with his passing. So overall, poor game for Matic. Paul Pogba, whatever that was for the penalty, I'm not going to talk about it. I think he had a bit of influence in the game, but overall, not good enough. Not taking the game by the scruff of the neck. Not showing leadership. Bruno Fernandes, virtually non-existent, I'd say. He had brilliant flashes here and there, but no final ball. Overall play was poor. Marcus Rashford, I feel, was the worst player on the pitch. I feel Marcus Rashford, every time he got the ball, he'd run straight into a defender. He'd pick out the wrong pass. He didn't show the decisiveness, the cutthroat mentality that he's shown in the past. He was just poor all around. He was the worst attacker on the pitch, probably the worst player on the pitch as well. Disappointed by that. You know, I was the most frustrated at Marcus Rashford because he had the most opportunities to do anything and he lost the ball. Martial, I feel, was our best attacker on the night, which says a lot about how poor our attack was because he didn't exactly have a 9 out of 10 performance. It was more of a 5 or 4 out of 10. Again, build-up play, not bad. Facilitating the link-up between him and the other forwards, it was decent, but he had chances to go through on goal and he just lost the ball. He got the ball stuck under his feet. That's poor for Martial, needs to do better there. He could have at least scored 2 goals if he had sorted out his footing properly. You know, that's how it is. Martial, overall poor game, even though he stood out among the rest of the shit players. Mason Greenwood scored a brilliant goal, took it really well, but I think his overall play was poor. His turns were too slow. He let himself get caught by defenders far too many times, and he just lacked the overall dynamism that he's shown in the past. Not a game United should dwell on, certainly. Not a game they should emulate again, because that was a horrible showing overall for Manchester United. But this is the question I have for these sets of players. Where's the leadership? Where is the leadership from this team? I do not see a semblance of leadership on the pitch. You saw Bruno Fernandes getting a bit frustrated when Mason Greenwood was fouled. Or was it Aaron Wan-Bissaka? Aaron Wan-Bissaka was fouled on the halfway line. You saw that bit of passion. But that was the only spark of fire that I saw. That's the only spark of determination or desire I saw. A desire to win a free kick. That's about it. Harry Maguire, you're the captain. I don't see you shouting your head off, trying to get us to push up the pitch. Paul Pogba, supposed leader in the dressing room, didn't see much. In fact, he looked to shy away when he could have taken the mantle and pushed the team forward. Bruno Fernandes looked very quiet. Wasn't his usual self, as I said. But overall, this team just lacks real determination, real grit. They don't have that. They truly do not have that. And it could stem from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I don't know. I honestly don't know at this point. Because I truly believed in this team. I believe this team was ready to at least challenge next season, but clear to me that I was deluded, and there's a long way to go. A long way forward for Manchester United. Dropping points once more. Mason Greenwood, I have to note, that was a fantastic goal though. 17th goal of the season, level with Wayne Rooney, George Best, and Brian Kidd as a teenager. Top scorer for Manchester United. You have to give him plaudits for that, despite how poor his performance was. But Manchester United being dug out again by an 18-year-old teenager. Truly, we need more depth. Because if you look at that bench, is there a single player on that bench that you think, oh, he can come on and change the game? No. Under Sir Alex Ferguson, if Dwight York and Andy Cole underperformed, you had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Teddy Sheringham. In the past, maybe in his final season, Robin van Persie, Wayne Rooney, Javier Hernandez, Danny Welbeck. A real dearth of options for Manchester United at the moment. I don't understand. We really need to strengthen our depth in the summer. If you think the likes of Jack Grealish or maybe Donny van de Beek, they don't deserve to be at United coming into the transfer window, then you got to really question yourself. Is Andreas Pereira and Jesse Lingard much better than those two players? You're absolutely deluded if you think so. Manchester United showed just... I don't know, I'm dejected. I really don't have much to say about this performance because it's a nothing performance. Nothing performance, there's nothing to talk about. What's so disappointing is how sluggish, how lethargic, how tired we look. Again, you want to spin the narrative, this team is tired, this team is recovering from a large amount of fixtures being played in a small amount of time, I understand. But again, on the pitch, do you truly show that you want to win the game? Do you truly show like this is a must-win game? It was a must-win game in my opinion, and they look like they settled for a draw. Settling for a draw. Going back to the point, this Manchester United team wants to return back to the top. You think in the past, Sir Alex Ferguson's teams, do you think they would settle for a draw in must-win fixtures when they could be much more comfortable if they won? Do you think they would settle for a draw? Let's be real with ourselves. No. The answer is no. The clear answer is no. I do not understand the lack of desire. It's truly baffling from a Manchester United fan's perspective. They do not look like they want to win. And if that kind of performance goes up against Leicester, we'll get absolutely trounced. Because that Leicester team, they have a must-win game. And I believe they might even show us up. We have to hope on other people, on other fixtures, for our Champions League hopes. And that's pathetic. That is not the Manchester United way. I do not want to see us settle for mediocrity, and that's exactly what's happening with us settling for a draw. It's mediocre. It's below average. Overall, it's shit. Manchester United, they have a final fixture. Thankfully, Chelsea lost emphatically against Liverpool. What a game that was. Gotta be thankful for once that Liverpool won a game. But anyways, on to the next game. Hopefully these players show a bit more of urgency, a bit more of intensity, and a lot more of desire to win a game. That's all from me. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.